I guess it was really disappointing to know that as the first person of colour that went into the association, this was my treatment. Just give me a minute, sorry. I don't want to get upset over it, because I don't deserve it.
Harvey Katka is one of the most senior British Asian women to walk the blue line.
I class myself as a stateswoman.
In 2022, the officer was elected Vice President of the Police Superintendents Association. This is a major body representing senior officers.
To provide a voice, to actually influence government.
After past controversy and complaints against the Police Federation, Harvey Katka's place in the PSA's governing body was celebrated as a milestone for modern policing. But speaking for the first time, she says the concerns over spending, transparency and culture first raised against the Police Federation are today in the Police Superintendents Association.
I asked lots of questions about their operating practices and, you know, the culture that existed. It was a boys' club, and that was something they felt proud to actually tell me, that female members on their governing body thought it operated as a boys' club, which really shocked me because it was said as a badge of honour. There was a culture of cronyism where friends had been given roles as contractors without proper procurement processes, and female staff there, particularly those that had been serving for a long period of time, felt not valued. They didn't feel that they had a voice. And I had a particular staff member come to me and raise some concerns about misogynistic behaviour and bullying, effectively.
Did you feel that, based on your gender or ethnicity, that you had been treated in a way that was unbecoming?
I was excluded from certain meetings, information withheld from me at the very start. When I started to ask questions, I was either dismissed, it was not forthcoming, it was deliberately delayed to me, or it was withheld from me. I was publicly humiliated, and I'd heard comments that I would describe as both sexist and racist. And on every occasion, I questioned and challenged this behaviour. My colleagues would laugh it off as banter.
Harvey's concerns are with the governing body.
You know, policing is changing and we need to adapt with it.
She claims her questioning of the culture led to her being subject to what she called malicious misconduct proceedings. Harvey admits that she forwarded sensitive information from the PSA to a personal account that documented her concerns. The PSA called this a breach of data protection and referred her for investigation to her home force. Their investigation found there was no case to answer. Harvey felt vindicated, but the damage had been done. When she stood as the sole candidate for president, Harvey Katka claims colleagues called her a reputational risk, and the governing body chose not to elect her. Yet the man the committee selected to be acting president was at that time under an active criminal investigation for assault. Nick Smart was made interim president while subject to a criminal charge. His case was later discontinued, and the judge said he should face no disciplinary action. And the current National Secretary, Warren Franklin, had previously been charged for a domestic violence-related offence. This case was also discontinued in court after the alleged victim declined to give evidence. And his predecessor, Dan Murphy, had also faced allegations. The officer had been arrested for an alleged assault off duty on a police trip abroad. The investigation found no offence, and he was released without charge.
I put myself forward to run as the president of the association. However, I was told by my colleagues and the governing body that that had a reputational risk for the association, yet the association chose to elect a temporary president who had been arrested and charged with a criminal offence, which I would say is a reputational risk to policing and the association.
The PSA say the allegations are subject to ongoing tribunal proceedings, and the PSA is contesting the allegations made. it would be inappropriate to comment in detail at this time, and the association will respond fully and in comprehensive detail throughout the tribunal process. They added that the allegations against officers had been referred to their respective forces and no misconduct found. They add the election in 2024 was fair with independent oversight.
The PSA have said that this is a political attack by a candidate who didn't win. What do you say to that?
I would say that it was far easier for me to walk away from an environment that was toxic, in where I was treated so unfairly. You know, I joined policing to stand up and do the right thing, so that was my determination. The fact that they retaliated against me with the conduct matter, but were happy to elect a temporary president, having been arrested and charged with a criminal matter, I guess speaks volumes in itself.
Harvey Katka believes her case is part of a wider pattern of institutional bias in policing, where ranks close at the expense of minority officers. In the past week, policing has been under scrutiny, but much of the focus has been on frontline officers. Harvey's concerns raise questions over the culture within the decision-makers on policing bodies.
Channel 4 News has seen a detailed dossier of Harvey Katka's complaints that has been sent to the Home Office, who partially fund the PSA. But the Home Office are yet to publicly declare if they plan to investigate the concerns of one of the most senior British Asian women to ever serve in the police force.
What saddens me is that during that time, I obviously sought support from very senior colleagues of how to navigate my way through that, and the support of a coach who has been brilliant, is that nobody was surprised that that was a culture that existed.
Harvey Katka is now in a formal dispute with the PSA, and the outcome will have implications for a major policing body. The officer said she joined the police to fight crime, but 30 years later, she now finds herself fighting leaders within the force.